This is APN, the Daily English News broadcast in cyberspace brought to you by Conference Network today, Friday, 19th of May, 2017. For me, your Daily English News host, Mr. Sajid Zara, greeting with you in Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. Headlines from the APN by the help of our blogger. Press released, Save the Rohingya women and girls. Refugees describes death and despair in Malaysia detention. 11 traffic Rohingya Muslim arrested in Yangon. The details are as follows. On behalf of the Rohingya Muslim community, ARNO expresses sharp sorrow and condemns in the strongest possible terms the rape of the at least 32 Rohingya women by the Myanmar military and border guard police in Kyongtong Buthidaung Township, Rakhine State. Once again, we are forced to watch helplessly the gruesome act of sexual violence perpetuated by the government forces against our women and girls in the name of fighting terrorists. Our deepest sympathies are with these brave women and their families whose only crimes is that they were born a Muslim in this country. The regime has made little secret of their intentions as they announced the commencement of clearance operations in Kyongtong with the much fanfare on 8 May, citing a devious case that 2 Rohingyas were killed while making landmines. Since then, revenge for supposedly making landmines have translated into the rape of at least 32 women and other forms of sexual violence against many more in Kyongtong village. In spite of the series of international condemnation at the initiative taken by the United Nations Human Rights Council to prove killings and rapes of Rohingya in northern Mongdo, the security forces have indulged in what can only be described as a mass rape orgy in Kyongtong. Furthermore, the military has flatly rejected the UN's proof in northern Mongdo, with Senior General Mi Aung Hlaing saying the Tamada spirit compels them to prevent such an international investigation. United Nations confirms deaths of 24 people in the detention center since 2015, 22 of whom were Myanmar nationalists but told could be much higher. At least 24 refugees and asylum seekers have died in Malaysian immigration detention centers since 2015. Living in filled, overcrowded cells, inmates are so severely deprived of basic necessities such as food, water, and medical care that the Malaysian National Human Rights Commission describes conditions as torture-like. Among a dozen recently released of Rohingya refugees interviewed by The Guardian, everyone saw at least one inmate die, mostly of disease, but in some cases also due to the physical abuses. They gave us only one small cup of water with one meal, otherwise we had to drink toilet water, said Miura Begum, an 18-year-old of Rohingya refugees detained for over a year at Belantik. Only when someone was about to die would the guards come. Otherwise, if we complained or if we asked to go to the hospital, they would us, she added. All but 2 of the 24 people of concerns confirms that by the UN were Myanmar nationals. The toll based on data provided by Malaysian authorities may represent only a fraction of refugee fatalities in 17 immigration detention centers. After being smuggled from crackdown in Rakhine State, the man could face 2 years in prison for illegal intrusion. Yangon, Myanmar. Myanmar authorities have arrested 11 Rohingya Muslims who were smuggled from the troubled western Rakhine State to the country's biggest city, Yangon, an official said Thursday. Wei Nang, an officer at the Yangon police force, told Anadolu agency that they were arrested by a police patrol at an Ongwingla highway bus station in Yangon's North Oklapa Township. These Bengalis are waiting for traffickers who will smuggle them first to the Myanmar Thai border, then to Malaysia overland, he said by phone on Thursday, referring to the stateless minority group with a term that suggests that they are interlopers from neighboring Bangladesh. Tens of thousands of Rohingya, described by the United Nations as amongst the most persecuted minority groups worldwide, have fled their homes in Rakhine since October last year, when Myanmar's military launched a crackdown that has attracted severe international criticism of its brutality. Security forces have been accused of gang rape, killing, beating, disappearances, and burning villages in the Mongdo area of northern Rakhine State. Since October last year, Wing Nang added that the men were smuggled by traffickers who were ethnic Rakhines from the Rakhine state to Yangon overland, and that they are searching for the traffickers in cooperation with the Rakhine police forces. The 11 Middle East Rohingya men will be charged for illegal intrusion under the Resident of Burma Registration Act 1949 and Myanmar's Penal Code, he said last October. After being arrested in Yangon, 18 trafficked Rohingya men were sentenced to 2 years in a prison. The same charge, while 4 underage Rohingya were ordered to spend 2 years at a training school for boys. Rohingya have been fleeing Myanmar since 2012 after communal violence broke out in Rakhine between ethnic Rakhine Buddhists and Rohingya. The violence left around 57 Muslims and 31 Buddhist dead, some 100,000 people displaced in camps, and more than 25,000 houses razed, most of which belong to Rohingya. So this is now Fozida from APN English News Service. Thank you for watching our opinions. Please stay tuned for more updates. They are still to come up next, as every day as usual, by the help of our blogger or different news agencies from around the world of Rohingya National. So thank you very much for watching our opinions. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.